Hello everybody, I'm here on the discussions page on Canvas, and here's the class chat room, place to ask questions about course policies or course assignments. And of course here is this week's discussion, which you can also access elsewhere, and it covers this week's reading, as do the reading questions. Chapter 3, and They Say, I Say, and the MLA Works Cited Electronic Sources tab on the Purdue OWL. Let's go there. Bop on over to the modules page. Scroll down to the Purdue OWL. Now you use this on your overview of expert sources on your topic, but let's just take a look at it again. There's the sample works cited page. That's going to be your friend for what's coming up, which I'll assign in about a minute. And of course, if you scroll down, you'll find electronic sources like that article from a database that the library has, the Mesa Library, or a website, and so on. And speaking of assignments, let's go to the assignments page. And you'll see that discussion again, as well as the reading questions. But this is something you won't see until Wednesday, but it's worth the same number of points as your overview of discussion, but it's almost twice as long. But don't get sticker shock, because you can use a lot of what's in your overview of discussion. Let me explain. Of course, it's on your Wicked problem. It's due in 2 weeks on October 18th, Wednesday, and this assignment will open this coming Wednesday. But it's a little different. You got to frame the problem this time in your introduction and through the essay. So your first paragraph will be different, and you're going to need a key question right there. He mentions that in chapter 2, framing the problem. Be sure you ask your key question and follow his advice in chapter 3 about identifying root causes to your problem as opposed to symptoms as you take your deeper look. Be sure to specifically acknowledge Chevalier's advice and include page numbers. And be sure to answer your key question. Now, this is only partly an academic research paper because you already have all the sources, the 3 sources you mentioned, in your overview of discussion. So give Google the day off. And that overview of discussion can come in really handy for this assignment. I don't know if the first and last paragraphs will be something you can just copy and paste, because looking at this assignment, the mission of the assignment's a bit different, like I mentioned up here on item 1 and item 2. But having said that, you can include the discussion of the sources, just don't let them lead the paragraphs, because this essay isn't about your sources. It's about your wicked problem and its root causes. So yeah, you bring the sources in there, but don't lead the paragraphs in them. But let them do a supporting role and come in later in your paragraphs. And I just showed you the Purdue OWL. You're going to need that. Of course, you used it, I hope, for the previous essay on your overview of sources. And they're going to come in really handy. All you need to do is copy and paste them to a new page on this essay that'll come after the last paragraph. And it'll have its own title, Works Cited, and you'll have your 3 sources there. And I've got an MLA format sample in the Writer's Toolbox that'll show you how the pages should look. Be sure to follow it. Okay, let's get to the no-nos. Avoid any solution. We're not there yet. We're just taking a deeper look at the problem and its root causes. And if some of your sources suggest a solution, fine, you can mention that if you think it's necessary, but don't jump on board with the solution. And that introduction paragraph will be a little bit different, as I mentioned. In the Writer's Toolbox, I've got some great advice on developing a good introduction paragraph and a good conclusion paragraph. Take a look at them as you put the finishing touches on this essay. And again, if I asked for any changes or improvements in your writing in my response to your overview of discussion, which you're going to get back this week, keep those in mind. I'm looking for those on this essay. Now, submitting it is going to be similar to the last one. Don't copy and paste. Do, in fact, upload it in Microsoft Word. If you don't have Microsoft Word, do it in Google Docs because it'll allow you to convert your essay to Microsoft Word if you select it as a download option from the file menu. Don't use Pages, won't work. That app, anyway. And as usual, 10% extra credit if you get it to me here 24 hours prior to the deadline, or alternately, proof by a session with a tutor at the Mesa College Writing Center. And as you saw before, there's a grading contract in the Writer's Toolbox that shows you the grading standards for this assignment. Okay, so that's it. And let me show you how it'll look when you're finishing this up. You won't be able to see it, the assignment's luck, but what you would see would be a button, of course, to submit the assignment and upload it. Do not copy and paste. So that's what I'm getting at. And like I said, here on the modules page, you've got some handy tools, good introductions, better conclusions, MLA format sample I mentioned, and there is your grading contract for the deeper look. Okay? Have a great week. You've got some reading to work on for the discussions and the reading questions. And take a good look at your overview of sources on your wicked problem when you get it back later this week, and start thinking through where you could position some of that discussion as you take the lead this time on root causes and that deeper problem. Okay? Have a great week.